Hey everybody, welcome to Deep Dive. Now, if this is the first time you are joining this channel, let me tell you a little bit about the journey that we are on. Now, this channel is going through some of the strongest stocks and looking at their historic runs. We're talking stocks that have gone up 100%, 200%, 1,000% in very short amounts of time. And we're looking at their charts, their chart patterns, their earnings, their fundamentals in that time so that we can do some deep learning about how stocks behave when they're on these historic bull runs. Now, if you're looking for easy buy and sell recommendations or quick fixes, this is not the channel for you. This channel is about deep learning about how stocks move. So let's go on to what we're going to be looking at today, which is ACB. I'm going to share my screen here. Aurora Cannabis. So Aurora Cannabis produces, distributes, and sells cannabis and cannabis derivative products in Canada and internationally. They also engage in facility engineering and design, cannabis breeding, research, production. So they're all about marijuana. And as you know, marijuana stocks have in the past had some very good runs. We only have earnings data going back to September of 2018, and we're actually starting in May 2017. So hopefully we'll get to this section. And then we have our news site that we're using, Ticker, as well as Seeking Alpha, which will hopefully give us a good idea of some of the news reports that are coming out in that time. Lots of stuff in 2018. All right, so we're starting around here. Let's start looking at the chart. So automatically, first up, let's look at this chart. What do we see? So this stock moves very well. You can see here it's doing these, it's popping up and doing these consolidations. Sideways, pop up, consolidation, pop up, consolidation. Same thing over and over again. Had this huge blow-off candle on very high volume. And during this time, if you look right here, you can see that our ADR is 13, 14, 16. So very volatile stock. And now we've been going sideways for quite a while, almost 5 months or so. Had this pop-up that looked like it might start a new bull run, and then back here where these moving averages are consolidating. So let's start going through bar by bar and seeing what we can learn from this stock. All right. Well, that's probably not a correct, this is probably a faulty tick, I would say. I doubt it traded down to 68 cents and popped all the way back up to 20 on that same day. But we are going down. Cruising below the 200 moving average. All the moving averages are starting to bunch up together. Now we popped a little bit over it. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we get just a little bit better view. Popping up above all these moving averages on high volume. Main market down here, this is the S&P 500 represented by the ETF, the SPY. Market's just going up and now it's going sideways. So market's favorable for us. And yeah, we had a little pop up above these moving averages. Let's see if we can start getting some follow through. All right. Getting a little bit of follow through, and we're a little bit off to the races here. Getting some sideways action here. 7 candles sideways. Coming back down. Let's see if we touch the 200. We do. Well, we almost touched the 200. We go through the 20 down to the 10. This green line is the 100, which would be the 20 moving average on the weekly. So we cut through the 10, the 20 came down there. Let's see what happens. Bouncing off the 200. Starting to make a little range down there, and we could start to think about some kind of entry. This is a 16 bar consolidation since the highs of this candle, which were on high volume, and volume is dropping off nicely. So let's say we put a buy stop at 24.50, right around breaking through that 20 period moving average, and let's see what happens. And our stop would be maybe right around 23.50. So let's say 2 points. Getting very tight. I would say we move our stop up to 24. I still like 25.30-ish maybe. 25.30 with a stop around 24, so maybe risking a 1.3. Wow, just getting very tight. All right, we had a little pop-up on some higher volume. Highs there were 24.24. You can kind of see the high up here if my head isn't in the way. Let's make sure we are recording. Yep. All right. I'd say we are probably in by now at 24. Yeah, we would be in on this day. So higher volume, which is good, but we are getting in after 5 up days, which isn't feeling that good. Let's say our stop's still around, what do we say, 24 or so. We wanted to risk $1.30, maybe $1.50, so maybe 24. Let's see, the low, yeah, let's do 24 as our stop. Let's see what we can do. Looking good. Higher volume. So I know the propensity of this stock just by looking at its history to kind of get stuffed down. So I want to put an exit for 50% of the shares at like 27.50. Let's see, did we get there? The high, 27.24. Let's see if we get there the next day, although I'm a little nervous. High, 27.48. We missed it by 2 cents. All right. That's a bummer. That's one of those cases where you think, maybe I would have just got out at 48, but you never know if you would have or not. That's the thing about doing these kinds of experiments where you go bar by bar. But let's say we're still in 100% and we're trailing it with the 10. Let's see what happens. Coming down to the 10. Hey, we're bouncing up off of it. So now I'm going to try and get out of 50%, still at 27.50. Yeah, we're out. All right. 27 that day right there, we breached 27.50. So we're out of 50%. Let's let the rest ride with the 10 moving average, see what happens. All right, we'd be out there. Close there was 26.88. 10 period moving average was 27.04. That would have been a good trade. We got in at 25.50. Got out at half with 2 points profit, and then got out at the other half with maybe like 1.5 points profit. So it wouldn't have been too bad. Let's see what happens. We're still going up. Ooh, very nice. We got out too soon, didn't we? And during this time, you should be looking and seeing what trades you would take. Maybe you wouldn't have gotten in on this bar like I did. You know, maybe you would have said, no, I'm waiting for a pullback to the 10, and you would have gotten in here. That might have been better. Or maybe you waited for a pullback to the 20 and you got in there. I'm not sure. We're just looking for patterns here. Coming back down to the 50. And we're not really seeing any earnings reports down here, so we don't really know if they're reporting earnings or whatnot. And let's just check real quick at the fundamentals and see if we have anything during this period. So Nevada's begins legal weed sales in July. November 15th, we're not quite there yet. They make a bid, so they're going to buy another company on the 15th. Well, they're bidding to do it. All right, pop up above the moving averages. This would have been a buy on higher volume. I say we buy if it goes into that wick. It might be a little hard to see. Into that wick, let's say I'm going to buy stop at 28.30. All right, so we're in. My stop's below this pop-up candle. Looking good. Look at the volume coming in. All right, now we're talking. So 28.50. We've got a nice 4-point profit on 100% of our position. Huge volume here, though. That makes me a little bit nervous, and we're breaking out of this high. So there's probably some bag holders here who want to get out, but maybe not. Let's say we get out of 30% at 32. If it goes down to 32, we're out of 30%. But no, we gapped up even higher on higher volume too. Although we have this doji, I'm getting rid of maybe 50% below this candle. But we're still going. Still going. Trailing with the 10. There we go. It's good sometimes to hold your winners on these crazy runners. And how did we get in? We got in from a wedge pop. This flag right here, could maybe even make it a little bit bigger so we can see. This flag right here, it isn't the best looking flag, but we had a little wedge pop where it popped above the 10 period moving average. We bought the next day when it got into this wick, and now it's up to 45. So we were in at 28.50 almost a 20-point winner there with a stop below 27.50. So we risked a point basically, and now we're up to 45. These things, they ran, man. All right, let's keep going. I think let's get out of 50%. I say we get out of 50% on the open, just to lock in some profits. We got 20-point profits. Let's get out of 50% and trail the rest with a 10. All right, we're out of 50% at the 51.9. Pretty good trade. All right, we're starting to get real wily here. But we're out of 50, and so we're happy. Oof, coming down, bouncing off the 10 here. Still looking real strong. Oh, making new highs. We're just trailing it. All right. That's looking a little weak. We opened below the 10, but didn't close below. We opened it and rallied back up to 71. This is getting very wily, so I'm going to get rid of another 20% so that we're down to just a 30% position on the open the next day. Yeah, right there. Small candle. Lots of chaos in that small candle, just coiling up. All right, and then we're out of the rest at a close of 65.64. So that would be an amazing trade if you had good size on and you're only risking 1 point, and first exit was around this close of, this open of 51.9. Second exit was kind of right in this this little doji here, and now we're breaking below. So let's see what happens. Maybe we can get another setup. I don't know. Ooh, that's nice actually. So look, we got real 13 bar, very short flag, but this is kind of textbook flag, and I would let's remove that drawing. I say we buy over this high here, 70.2. Okay, what are we doing here? Still going sideways, getting very tight. I'm buying over this high at 6. I'm buying at 69. All right, I think we're in. Let's see. Well, the high was 69.72. Our stop's at the low at 65, let's say. So we're risking 4 points. Not stopped out. Bam, up. Volume is a little bit weaker. So I'm getting out of 50% at, let's say, 79. Did we get there? 76.4. All right, I'm getting out of 50% at the open the next day. All right, we got there. Let's see. The open was 77. What did I say? 69? Yeah, 79 was the target, but we opened at 77.76. We got out of half. So we're out of half now. Let's just trail it with the 10. Oh, 140. All right. We bought at 69 and now we're at 140. Although this is huge volume. This is like blow off top territory, I feel like. I mean, this flag was so nice. Look at how tight this got. And this is a pattern of stocks that are making huge moves. It's just to get it's just beautiful. I'm speechless at how beautiful it is. So we got 50% of our position left. I'm getting out of 20% the next day at the open. And the open was 131. So we got 30% of our position left, trailing it with the 10. I don't know how high this thing's going to go. It could go to 200 for all I know. But it looks like we're slowing down here. All right, we'd be out this day. Close at 117. And a good exit that was. Oh, never mind. We're making new highs. Ooh, we are coming back down to earth hard. Broke the 50 and the 65 EMA. Definitely getting a little bit more chaotic here. This was just beautiful and orderly. This candle here really marked, these two candles here and their high volume really marked the blow off top. I mean, we did make new highs, but that was just so that they could sell it off again. But I don't think this run is over. I think we still have another chance. but I'm waiting for some kind of setup. So now here's the question. Would you guys be looking for a setup here, maybe over 115 out of this range that it's built in here, this range from 120.50 down to 91.25? Would you be looking to get long over 115? The 50 is coming up, the 65 EMA is kind of getting sandwiched between those two, and then the 20 and the 10 are right in the middle there. It'd be nice if this could catch up a little bit more before we blast it off. And I feel like if after something runs 400%, there's a lot of eyes on it wanting to get back into this action. So, but you kind of feel also like you have to take it. Like this here, I didn't want to take this trade. Like after this run, like, oh my gosh, 200% higher. Like how much higher can it go? Well, it can go up another 200% apparently. I didn't want to take this trade, but I did because, this is a really strong moving stock. You can see the main market had a dip at the same time that this had a dip, and now it's rallying back. Let's see what happens. What are we looking at? We're at about 16 minutes. And I'm not seeing any earnings here, which, usually I go to the earnings and look at them, but there's just, we don't have really this idea of quarter over quarter change. We can look and see what news has occurred. This starts in February of 18 and where we're at. We're right in February of 18. So this is starting right where we're at. They entered into a supplier agreement with Shoppers Drug Market, so they're getting distribution into places where they can sell their weed. They announced final regulatory approval for their acquisition of Canamed. They announced receipt of final regulatory approval for their acquisition. They increased their stake in Hempco, so they're rolling up. They're actually like buying other companies, which is kind of weird. Kind of cool though. See if this has anything in here. Citron is bearish on Aurora Cannabis. That was January, so that was in here. They had their bearish call. That's pretty good timing, Citron. Australia legalizes medical cannabis exports. AG sessions to let state attorneys decide on federal pot enforcement laws. Up their bid. Deal making world's most valuable weed firm. Supply glut could limit upside for Canadian cannabis stocks, so they're getting kind of hammered in barons in April. So anyway, kind of get a little bit of a future look at the news there. All right, we're making new lows. So this is not a bullish pattern so far. Let's see what. Okay, they're really coming down. Yikes. I thought I saw them make another run higher, but I could be wrong. We could be done. I mean, they are coming down very orderly, which is nice. I mean, it's red bar after red bar. They're consistent. They're persistent in their bearishness. Coming down to the 200, bouncing pretty strong off of it. Main market's making a nice base there. Okay, we had a little flag here that we're bursting out of. Doesn't have much follow through. Now we're getting interesting because we're kind of, all these moving averages are converging, and you could see a nice burst higher here would have all the support of the moving averages below them. But we're breaking below the 200. Yeah, we're coming down. Main market's looking good. It's going up. Had a high volume down day there, so maybe that marks the low of the move. I don't know. Volume has been very low on this this down move. Nope. All right, a little pop there. Okay, we're getting a little bit of a move here. Back up to the 200. Let's see what happened on this day, 9/17. See if anything occurred. There's lots of news on marijuana in general. Aurora Cannabis to acquire ICC Lab. Yeah, they're just buying they're just becoming this conglomeration of weed. Yeah, they're going to buy ICC Lab. Receiving licenses, approval for soft gel capsulation. These guys are just moving right along. So this is potentially some kind of EP here. Although it wouldn't, it's the nice thing about this EP, episodic pivot, is it did go over all of the moving averages. So let's see if it follows through. It does. Look at that. Look at that huge volume too. Even higher volume than this blow off. So the market really sees this as bullish. Let's see if we can get some kind of sideways action so we could maybe get in. Maybe a fish hook. No. Okay, it's kind of making a flag. It's just really ugly. I mean, that's the breakout right there on lower than average volume, so I wouldn't be taking this. But maybe you see a trade that I don't. Nice. So we kind of came down here, came underneath, then popped up. This is on higher volume. Wow, gap up and crap. Came back in. Ooh. Ooh. Ouch. Coming back down below its 200. So, I mean, it had this really nice run, 200% higher over, from mid-August to mid-October. This was kind of a flag. You could buy this as an EP, although you probably got stopped out. Let's go look at it, though. 9/17/18. 9/17/18. We'll look at that day and see what happened. Look at all this volume coming in, just massive volume. And I think we're done. I think that's about it. Oh, look at that volume. Wow. Now look at how orderly this is. It's one thing that these deep dives are teaching me is just to pay attention to orderliness. Like look at how linear that move is and how linear the move down is. And that right there is a buy signal, although you're in this chop of moving averages. So it's really not preferred. But now we're looking okay. Now we're 11 bars. I want to see a few more sideways days. Nope. Didn't get it. Didn't get follow through anyway. You could have bought maybe this day here, the 1st of February 2019, and you would have got 1 day of follow through. I mean, it might have been a good trade, 12% if you got out, but came right back down to the 200. Earnings occurred. All right, now it's getting some room. Hey, look at that. Big volume. This is not bad here. Not really that sideways. 20 bars though, but we're breaking over the 94.15 mark right around there. No follow through though. Stopped you out. Pop up again. What happened on this day? 3/13 of 19. March. They don't really have anything there. Let's look over here. Oh, I guess I didn't go far enough. So, all right, but we had a nice. I mean, that's huge volume. This is an EP. Whatever the news was on that day, that was a valid EP. You're jumping out of basically 93 bars, 3 months, 138 days worth of sideways action with a nice follow-through day. See if it follows through. Yeah, this would have been, well, I might have spoke too soon. I was going to say this, you would have had at least 4 days of follow-through, but it's just getting so choppy. It's getting harder. I mean, compared to what it was like when it first started, this is much more difficult to trade. Although now we're setting up here. Here we go. If we get a pop above 112.18, 112.20, I'm buying. Never mind. Cancel that. I'm going to put it back on. High of 111. What was the high here? Okay, so 112 I'm going to buy. Oh gosh, did I get in there? Yeah, I got in there. But the low, 108.12, that would be my stop. Probably stops me out. Yeah, there we go. So I would be out of this probably. Not looking to trade this maybe too much more. Yeah, it's breaking down. Good exit. I think that's about it. Let's zoom out and see where we're at. What happened here? Yeah. So this was the big nice run. This was really the money setup. This setup right at the end of this big run. This was really nice. And then this was perfect. This was perfection. 200% run in like 10 days. I mean, I'm sorry, 115% run in 10 days. That was the trade. Came back down. We had this 200% run higher here, which was okay. And then we kind of came down and just messed around, and we kind of popped up, and then I tried to buy it here, and then it failed, and look at what happens. It just goes. So, all right, let's look at that one date. We're going to go to the on-demand feature. 25 minutes. So should be able to wrap this up. 9/17/18. 9/17. Go. This was the news we didn't really know, but that doesn't look right. Maybe there was some kind of malfunction with Thinkorswim here, but we can look at the beginning of the day, which was this. It did give a trigger here, and then it just stopped you out. So this EP probably would not have worked out, sadly. So not a great entry there. Anyway, I think that's all we got. If you like this, hit subscribe. You know, if you like this kind of content and you want to do this deep learning with me, hit subscribe, and really appreciate all the feedback I've gotten from people about charts and being simplistic and all that stuff. So thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon.